Candyman 2021 takes place in the now gentrified Chicago town Cabrini Green, the same neighborhood that was plagued by the mythical killer years before. So if you didn't already know, this was one of my most anticipated films of the year. I'm a huge fan of the original Candyman, as it not only was a great movie, but introduced a horror icon who happened to also be black. It also touched on the societal issues as well, such as racism and how it's directly linked to the development of certain communities. Needless to say, this film has some pretty big shoes to fill, and I have to say it actually exceeded my expectations. The film's themes are relevant in today's society, and the story was concise and straightforward. It covers a lot of ground in an hour and a half. However, where this film truly shines is in the direction and cinematography. Director Nia DaCosta did an amazing job creating this eerie atmosphere, but does so in a tasteful and artistic way. There were certain shots that didn't just look great, but were genuinely creative. Certain death sequences were unlike anything I'd seen, in a horror movie, let alone one so far this year. The film also doesn't rely on cheap jump scares, instead uses masterful camera techniques and angles to both show and in some cases let your imagination fill in the blanks. And if you ask me, that's sometimes more horrific than anything they could have put on screen. This, accompanied with great sound design, practical and CG effects, are just enough to get under your skin. The performances were great all around, completely making this an overall enjoyable experience. Now, for as much as I liked this film, I have to admit it's not perfect. It does have some pretty glaring plot holes, which is kinda disappointing considering the talented writers such as Peele and DaCosta herself who wrote the film. Even more so, I do think elements of the themes overall feel a little heavy-handed. One thing about the original movie was that you knew the themes were there, but they weren't as blatant as they are in this film. We're given a lot of exposition, and while it's done pretty creatively, it does feel a little bit forced at times. Now, while I would have enjoyed a slightly stronger script, I think this was still a great movie. The craftsmanship, performances, and overall artistic approach makes this film a worthy watch. It also makes me eager to see exactly what Nia DaCosta does in the future because of how masterful her direction is in this film. In my opinion, Candyman is peak level horror, and I thoroughly enjoyed this movie, which is why I have to give Candyman a 8 out of 10. However, these are just my thoughts. What'd you guys think about this one? How does it stack up to the original film? Let me know in the comments below. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next one. That is, assuming you didn't say you know what 5 times in a row.